but you can never find them in the arsenal. And I think it happened a couple months ago. Yeah, like in the actual arsenal box when we're in the editor, it has the normal backpack. See, that's the heavy backpack. We have the normal backpack in there, but it never fucking shows up.
Huh. I haven't done anything with the backpacks as of yet. I wonder if
It's
we...
not your mod. It's Optray. It's either Optray or it's the A2. It was something that's auto inheriting or something.
Yeah.
Binoculars would probably be a good thing to take too.
Well, we're gonna mostly be staying around this area. Actually, we might teleport out to another area. Oh, someone actually restarted the server.
The Arma server?
The mission from last night. This is the same mission from last night. It's just the thing is somebody restarted it.
Wait, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I didn't start it whenever I logged on. There was already people on here like cracking and everything. Unless it decided to just restart when everybody left. But I have that turned off on the server setting. Or the server config setting. I have it set to when everybody. I have it set to when everybody's logged off. It just stops the game. It freezes it. Freezes the mission.
Well, you remember last op you actually did mission complete.
Yep, we're good. Yeah, yep. I just realized that. I'm an idiot.
Because Hades ran into each other or something. I still wish I had an external
That
view
was
of
fucking hilarious.
Did
Oh,
you
I
record
watched it. No, I should have. But literally, like, y'all in the Pelican, like, he literally faced up and just turned on the thruster. And as he did that, McHard was in the Hornet and he was increasing his altitude. And he ended up, like, hitting the fucking ass end of the Pelican. It was fucking hilarious. I was like, they're going to hit each other.
They did!
You'd think they would have had some spacing discipline.
Nope. Dude, they no offense to them, but like they don't really train. They don't train on formations. They don't train on nothing really.
I was gonna say they really need to like work on like being able to take a supply pod in, drop it off in within like 10 seconds of getting there and then leaving, instead of it being hovering over the top of us for like 5
sort
minutes.
of a concern I've had that is kind of going on.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just different people, you know.
I guess the question is like how wonky would the armor physics be if they just simply kept going but at a slower speed?
Are we talking about dropping off the pods?
Yeah, like if you drop the pods and like you didn't hover, you didn't do anything, you just kept booking it at just at a slower speed.
I know.
I've told them. I've told them several times to do that. I've told them several times to do that, and they don't fucking listen. Because they're just like, "Oh, I'm the pilot. I know what I'm doing."
Yeah,
that is legit like the mindset of pilots at Arma 3.
What's more,
unless you're McHard, and then McHard will actually like kind of listen. He'll actually take your advice and be like, "Oh, okay," because he knows that if I'm saying it, that's I did that. Like it works that way. All right.
I just know that Arma physics are fucking wonky. I don't know if I would.
Okay. So, it looks like y'all are the only ones that are gonna be here.
I know Hawk said he couldn't be here. Where the fuck is Yarnold? How would he be here?
I think Yarnold, he's not current leader, so I was trying to see if maybe some of those guys would qualify for this, but I didn't want to make you repeat yourself either.
People who should be here is Kong, Sid, Hawk, and that's it.
Hawk has said he wasn't going to be able to do it. I think girlfriend thing.
Yeah.
Gross.
I told the guys I'd record it, so at the very least they could get a sense if they're trying to get ahead of the game a little.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done talking with Black because he just doesn't understand the concept to finish the fight. And he was like, well, sometimes if you're in a 20-minute firefight, you can't finish the fight. And I'm like, that's why you kill the fucking enemy. Like, you're not understanding.
Did you have another discussion with him?
No, it's in y'all's chat. He was like, I'll fill in as medic as needed when I'm available. And I put a comment. I was like, I'm just going to say no. I'm going to say no to that. But, I mean, I'm not the squad leader. I was like, you still have issues. When in a firefight, you'll stop fighting and play medic instead of waiting until after the fight. I was like, if you can't embrace that, then someone else needs to be the team medic. And because he did it yesterday in the middle of the firefight, y'all were fighting like 6 jackals. Billy was down, Spades was down, Magic was alive, Rin was right next to Black, and instead of like killing the last 6, he's sitting there medicing Rin. And it's like, dude, kill the enemy first, then you'll have time to do medic.
So. I was speaking to him separately. I hadn't got into what you were talking about, but yeah, I mean that conversation does feel very familiar.
But he's just constantly stuck on this whole. Yeah, and he's like, there has to be a balance of finishing the fight and keeping people alive.
You know, you have to follow SOP, and you can't just go in with that mindset.
Yeah,
I did adjust the mindset.
Give a definition for when a fight, like when to consider the fight pretty much over in the SOP I was writing up, if I can find it.
Cool.
I mean, and sometimes you just have to fucking retreat and people are gonna die, unfortunately.
What I mean by needing to follow the SOP isn't also like, I wasn't really directly like calling that we need an SOP document. I just meant follow the rule of you don't put down your rifle mid gunfight.
Yeah, medical aid should not be rendered until the cause of wounds is identified and all identified imminent threats are eliminated or evaded. Imminent threats being defined as anything that can cause further wounds to the recipient or provider of care within the next 2 minutes.
Damn, dude, you're like writing up a legal Bible there. I mean, I love it. It's perfect. It is a lot of wordy.
It's the way my mind works. It's going to be wordy. And that's going to be because I'm trying to eliminate as much gray area as possible so that people don't start making their own decisions that go against SOP because it wasn't very clear.
I appreciate all of that, but you sound like a fucking lawyer when you write stuff. It's going to put people to sleep.
I used to be a nationally ranked debater, so get fucked.
For that stage, he's a master debater.
God, like the first thing that made me laugh, it's like identify the cause of wounds.
So the thought process, because I just told him, I was like, this is how it is in the real life. Like, this is how it is. This is how it is in the Marines and in the Army. And you could talk to a corpsman who's on green side, who's doing green side, because Omnis, what the fuck are you doing on your mic?
Sorry, I'm drinking. I didn't realize you could hear.
Dude, we can hear everything.
Talk away.
No, and that's something as team leaders you guys have to do too. Like, if you're sitting there fighting and you look around and you notice like not all your guys are fighting, there's something wrong. Like, y'all have to keep that organized too. All right. I don't know if like you guys are just paying attention more to that fucking radar that shows up in the bottom left, or in Spade's instance, he moved it to the center. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to that, but like you actually need to be looking at your guys. Okay.
I actively forget that I have that HUD. I sometimes forget to even turn it on. Like now, for instance.
The squad cam. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna break it down like this because it seems like there's some confusion on what specific ranks or what specific positions are supposed to be doing. Okay, luckily, I made a Google Doc for y'all. It's called Duties and Responsibilities, and it's in the training document channel, which, yes, I know mostly nobody looks at. Okay, except for maybe Spades. All right. Now,
that does not that my ability to retain the information is proven valuable.
Yeah. Now, technically, the way we originally set this up was really based off a MARSOC unit, which is a 14-man team. You have the headquarters element, which is still an assault team. They can still perform assault duties and stuff like that, except for they have like the corpsman, which is a SARC. They have the FAC. They have the commander and the team chief. Okay, they're still technically a team. Okay, they can support. They can do whatever. Like I keep telling y'all, y'all are only limited by your command. Okay. Technically, y'all would be team leaders, which we don't really have that in there, but it goes off the element lead. So in a MARSOC unit, you have 14 guys. You have 2 5-man teams, which are assault teams pretty much, which can be configured in any way you want. All right, and they can do recon, they can do, ambushes, they can do a bunch of stuff. All right, again, you're only limited by your leadership. Okay, y'all are getting this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are starting to understand that, right?
Dang, it's Hawk is the
say
problem.
we're only okay.
Yes, there we go. You're only limited by your leadership. Okay. The key and what makes SOFs so awesome is outside the box thinking. Okay, what I mean by that is taking something normal and then going, hey, let's use an elephant. All right. Like it's just outside the box. It may sound goofy or dumb. And that's what's cool about SOF is you use a lot of outside stuff. Okay. To accomplish your mission or to help you accomplish your mission. All right. Mainly because special forces don't have 40 guys in a platoon. They may only have 15 people or 10 people in their section. And that's what they have to use to complete the mission. Okay. All right. So a team leader. All right. You lead the team. By example, you have authority over your team. All right, and the overall, and you're also responsible for their overall actions. All right, does that make sense?
Seem to be having a little bit of packet loss, but yes.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, it's cleared up.
Okay, so as a team leader, you lead by example, and you lead with the authority over your subordinates or your team. All right, but you are also responsible for their actions, their overall actions. All right. Centralized authority enables you to maintain troop discipline and unity and to act decisively. So this is where I come in with Somnus. Like sometimes Somnus will lead, but some people will like go over him. Or I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes you have a low voice when you're doing things. All right, y'all. When y'all are leading, you need to be in the mindset of this is my team. Okay, this is my team. This is how we're gonna move. This is how we're gonna do things. Okay, it can't be all right, guys. We're gonna move over here. Let's go, and then like they don't go, they stay over there. You're like, hey, get the fuck over here, or hey, you guys need to move over here now. All right, there needs to be authority in your voice. Okay. This right here, under the fluid conditions of close combat, he accomplished assigned missions using initiative without needing consistent guidance from higher headquarters. Now, I'm going to give you an example because just saying that, can be interpreted different ways. So let's look back at the mission area on your maps real quick. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it in global. You can get on that channel. The mission area was here. That was the actual mission area. All right. So we'll kind of just recreate it a little bit. LZ was here. Not going to put everything in there. All right. So he gave an assigned movement route, right? Hawk did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kind of like this right here, right? And then I'm guessing after y'all's first contact, which was not first contact, but like your secondary contact, where you guys ended up, Anthem ended up on top of this hill and getting half their team got wiped. And then I think
it's right in here somewhere.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
remember
because
y'all
my
were on
team
top of this
pushed
hill.
it.
Yeah, it was that hill.
Yeah. So we're gonna say that Anthem and Malta's right here. All right, which is actually pretty cool because you kind of got the enemy. You got the enemy kind of in a crossfire. The only thing is that fucking that Spectre. It actually drove from like there was a Spectre that came up behind.
Yeah.
them.
Until he noticed it and he called out, I was just busy with other things shooting at us from over here.
Yeah, the Wraith. They both came from the same area, but the Wraith actually like went that way.
Yeah, we hit the Wraith up in here.
Yeah, the Wraith
y'all hit
kind
it
of.
like y'all hit it like when it was right there.
Wraith
I was
came up,
watching the
it just
rockets.
drive-by'd me, and
I had him on ignore, but the for some reason the commander decided to shoot that repeater, the plasma repeater,
and fucked me up. Yeah.
So but yeah. So after that, that's when I noticed both teams started moving their own way. Right. What it means by under fluid conditions of close combat, he accomplishes assigned missions using initiative without needing constant guidance from higher headquarters. All right, so what that would mean is if he's telling you guys need to move here and Malta needs to move there, it's up to you to dictate how your team moves. Y'all understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he has this overall guiding line of like where the MSOT's gonna go, but then he's like, hey, I want Phantom on the south side, Malta near the north side. It's up to you to be like, Roger that. All right, team, this is what's going on. We're moving over here. We're doing this.
I don't know if you yeah, I was gonna say if you probably missed it, but I was like, well, it'd probably be best if we bring Malta up here and use this, take out this, and bring up to here, and then I suggested because Phantom had a much wider area that was open that they come to about down here and stop. We cause a distraction.
Would be our holding point.
And then when we start firing, they could push in because the enemy would start focusing us. That was the plan I'd made. But by the time we hit like this area, we started getting hit by towers and such, and it kind of fell apart.
A lot of the separation, I think, came from us not being prepared to. We're used to the full medical thing, and we kind of got caught up trying to figure out what to do without being able to get blood here. I heard that you said that you gave everyone in Phantom that ability, but it didn't seem to be for me, and I think Yarnold saw it at the very end there. I don't know if that tracks with what you had going on. Am I muted?
Oh no, I heard
nope.
We were like waiting there, and I think either Malta redeployed or was somehow able to get mobile, but we were stuck in here. Eventually, I think reinforcements came after us again.
From what I gathered is there was a site just here. After the Wraith had gone by, I'd gone back up. There was a hunter that then took me out.
Right.
Because Hawk decided to wake it up with a rocket, or one of the Hawk or Saber, and then it ran at me. So then it killed me. And then when I got back, they had moved into this area and they were clearing it out, or cleared it out as I'd gotten there. The Black and whoever else was with me in my team.
Yeah, there was like some sort of a site here, and so actually our paths deviated because Phantom, instead of following this line here, deviated north, and then we split from the north. That because everybody kind of fell back to that position because we were getting hammered, and then we split off and went this way, and you guys split off and went this way.
So we moved away from this area because we heard that you guys were getting hammered, and it was suggested that we go and help you guys, and so I said yeah. So we started pushing up here. We got to about a downed spirit that was about here.
Mm-hmm.
And then then we just started taking contact for ourselves.
Yeah. So I'm talking about after the spirit and all that fun stuff. Phantom did move from our line north slightly.
Yeah, so you guys came to about here on the line, and you started following the Malta line, I think, because that was the red one. And then there was, I think, a bit of confusion on the radio, and you guys started going the other way.
My interpretation is this is where we were bogged down. Sid was dealing with stuff over here. I guess he got pushed up there. We were called to, back you up, and then we moved over here. We made the crossing here. Hawk had us pushed to this outpost. We did our resupply and such, And then at this point, I think
the way the mission started was we came to this set of trees here. I was about here, and this is where like Hawk had disconnected. I had to push up to here, and I got to about here on the hill before noticing the site over here. Then Malta pushed into the trees here, and of course you guys went this way. Then Malta pushed themselves across here. While we were here, you guys had already moved somewhere up here, and I knew that you were on the line that was going up that way.
That I believe is a mistake. When y'all were here, we had fallen to here. When y'all were struggling with the hunters from in this area,
Yeah, we had to fall back.
we had fallen back from our line back into the trees, and we're trying to figure out our whole medical situation. Once Cephas got us up and running, we moved to follow Malta essentially, and we came onto this outpost from the north of it. So I'm thinking the line somehow got a lot wider here. Like I believe we crossed here. Because my first impression was that this outpost, until you and Tilly agreed that it was here, my first impression was that was here.
Well, there was two. There was two outposts. So there was one that I'd originally noticed. When we were about here, you guys were about back here, and I pulled my team up here to sit against the tree line so I could scout. I saw one that was off in this direction, but I never marked it. Then it was not assuming that we weren't going to be heading towards that. We started heading towards here, and as I say, it was right ahead of us. This one that was, we had to then take care of that. There was two in the area. I guess I just assume you never saw that one.
Perhaps then.
Yeah, so this is where the little bit of trouble with Yarnold came in.
Yeah.
Because
we resupplied, and then I assigned him as point man and told him to head southwest down the established line. And somewhere he got his bearing screwed up, and he went directly west into this opening, and outposts from here to here started shooting at us, and I tried to call them back into the tree line.
It's definitely quite interesting because you guys resupplied, and while you had resupplied, my assumption was you guys were around here. Malta was here.
That was a different resupply. So around here,
there is a resupply.
There was a. I'm just gonna use this because I'm not exactly sure because it was out in the between this tree line and this tree line somewhere. So somewhere in this general area, there was a crashed Pelican and a some sort of like covey fortification, right? And basically, as soon as we got to about here, started getting shot at by a sniper that was to our north. So it was actually probably from this site or like this hill over here or something. We were getting shot at by a sniper. So we pushed to so this is where Yarnold and me had our first little disagreement and kind of stepped on each other's toes, and like Yarnold had to apologize later, but
Wait, so what happened? Just give me
basically we were getting shot at by a sniper, and he was like, "Oh, run to the Pelican, run to the Pelican," and I had to just be like, "No, don't fucking run to that Pelican. It's cooking off. All of you will die." And so instead we went to the Covey fortification, which I guess I guess the Covey fortification would have probably been around here-ish, and the Crash Pelican would have been around here. So we went to the Covey fortification. We got hit by some sort of a mortar or a wraith or something from a distance. Yeah. We actually got Zeus healed. I don't know what happened. Suddenly everything fucking exploded. We never actually saw what killed us, but suddenly it stopped exploding. So, and so after that, pushed into the trees over here. There was I had Ren and Yarnold sneak out and try to grab the pods, especially medical and assault rifle, and bring them back so that we could use the pods in the trees and try and like salvage some of it. However, unfortunately, there was a group of jackals that were around this area that slowly pushed toward us, and they actually ended up being like this basically around us, and we had a hell of a firefight. And that's when I went totally black on ammo, totally black on medical, and died.
That's about the time I arrived, and yeah, probably died once again with Tilly. So
I mean, you did your best, but Yarnold is always hard to control when he's not going to listen to you. He's like I said yesterday. It's a case of he needs to look up to you, right? And he does at the minute, and he also doesn't. But Tilly, I don't think he sees Tilly as someone to look up to just yet.
He hasn't been directly insubordinate. He did try and he sort of took command there for a second, or tried to at some level. And when we corrected him, though, he backed off. Tilly, correct me if I'm wrong about this. Did he kind of like do, or was it until after the mission that we really had it addressed?
It was so he apologized when you he was oh shit, sorry. Like when you corrected him, and then he like actually apologized after.
But did his attitude adjust during the op?
Yes, yes, his attitude adjust. In fact, so what had happened was because we were in that fortification, and he was like, "Oh, let's get to the trees, let's get to the trees," and I was like, "Let's wait a minute to make sure that we're not going to get bombed with whatever the fuck just hit us." And you had told him to chill the fuck out, and he turned to me and he was like, "Tilly, I think we should go to the trees because we can get at the drop pods and shit from there." And I was like, thought about it, I looked around, I was like, "Alright, let's go." Because we weren't getting hit by whatever the fuck was hitting us, so I was like, "Alright, well, whatever, you know. I guess it's fucked off at this point."
But
my main issue was just like,
let's let Somnus have his word.
So with Yarnold, having led him already, it's fine that you said, "Oh, he's apologized and he backed off in the op," but it's more than likely that next week he will do something similar, and you will have to sort that out. And you know, and then you'll say the same thing. Well, we sort it out then. The idea is that you sort it out so that he doesn't do it again, and he's going to keep doing it. I don't know. I can't give you the exact reason why he does the things he does. I'm not saying he's directly insubordinate, but I'm not really saying he's insubordinate. You know, it's a case of that he does try to take lead when he shouldn't be. And so with Yarnold, you've got to either got to hammer it into him that he can't keep doing that, or you're just gonna have to keep dealing with it.
All right, so I'm just gonna be honest with you. I just stopped talking while y'all completely just basically went over the entire operation again. So got a little off topic in hand here.
Sorry, I thought you went AFK. We were just
no. I was typing and y'all just kept talking, and I was like, well, I'll wait.
I was gonna say we're off topic, but I figured you'd do it if it was an issue. Did I lose audio?
Nope. Typing. Me and Black are just kind of having like this little fucking battle right now where he wants to try to be right, and it's like, you're not gonna win this fight. I did this shit in real life. I was a CLS, which is trained by a fucking platoon medic. Yes, I've done almost every position in an infantry squad.
I assume this is in the Phantom chat.
Yeah.
I knew about like the Ranger thing and everything, but I didn't know you'd already done CLS.
Oh, dude, I did, like, back in the day, there was like 4 levels of CLS. Like I can give you a tracheotomy. I can do a fucking whenever you have a collapsed lung, I can do that. Okay. In between the second and third rib.
I'm surprised after all this time I'm still figuring out shit about you.
I don't talk a lot about it, all right? I'm a very humble person.
Fair. See, you don't come across as humble, but I guess you are. I'm just playing with my little binoculars. You were reading, it wasn't from Duties and Responsibilities earlier. What was the document you were reading from?
This is the document I'm reading from. That is the
Duties?
document. I mean, yeah, duties and responsibilities.
I was looking for your line. I was gonna like have it on
Alright.
screen while you were
Alright.
going over it.
So we'll go back to it, okay? It also states that the leader, the element leader, the team leader's position on the battlefield requires immediacy and accuracy in all the actions. Okay, now what we're trying to talk about on that is when you begin a firefight, you immediately fucking you're making what's a good thing for this? You're basically assessing. There we go. That's a good word. All right. As soon as the rounds fire and you get eyes on, you're assessing. Now, what this means is you're most likely not shooting as much. Okay. Why is that? Because you have a team to shoot for you. Your job is to direct the team. Okay. As a squad leader, your job is to direct the teams. Okay.
As a squad lead, you're to direct the team.
So as a team leader, you direct your team. As a squad leader, you direct the teams. Okay.
Oh, I'm glad you made that distinction.
Yes. All right. Now you do fire. You will shoot. You will be responsible for like throwing smoke grenades and stuff like that to conceal movement or conceal your location so you can regroup and stuff. All right. Yes, that is one of your responsibilities. Okay. Everybody understanding this?
Yeah.
Also, you're responsible for all your team's do's and fails to do. All right. Then we go into a little bit more. Basically, as a team leader, you're supposed to be the subject matter expert for all the weapons, your battle drills, and the duties of the team. Okay, now what that means is if your guys are taking a rocket launcher or you're taking a grenade launcher, you as the team leader should already have a mental note saying, hey, I have a grenade launcher. I can put down indirect fire on an enemy up to 300 meters away. 300 meters. So in an engagement, it is probably prevalent if they're within 300 meters to start that engagement with a 203. The reason why is not because it provides indirect fire, but also it's a psychological effect. In real life, it is. It's psychological. In Arma, it adds suppression to their ratings, so they'll tend to fucking not fire as much. Okay, but generally, when you have a 203, you kind of sometimes want to start your engagements off with that, or fire at them with a couple rounds and then switch to the 203 and fire. Okay, a machine gun. Same thing. You generally want that machine gun deployed somewhere where it can start putting down hate. All right. A rocket launcher, if the enemy has a armored vehicle, kind of start the engagement off with that and then lob some 203s around it. These are all things you can do. Okay. What I notice in some operations when you guys do have a grenade launcher or a grenade pistol, it's never used. You take the grenade pistol and they take the 12 or 15 grenades, never use a single one of them until they run out of main ammo. This is a fail. Okay, you as a team leader, you should know what weapons your guys are taking. It's kind of like it's the same equivalence as a FAC. Okay, he should be doing a call in with the aircraft and finding out what munitions he has. So that way, whenever you get into a fight, you can be like, "Hey, I need rockets here. I need a GBU here. I need you to use your 30 millimeter cannon over here." Okay, that way you maximize your asset. Am I making sense there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna go over.
To be like, it seems grenade launchers aren't terribly popular amongst Phantom. Do we kind of need to make someone or take it ourselves, essentially?
There should be. I think I put grenade pistols in the handgun area, mainly because no, I didn't. Mainly because the UNSC does not have grenade launchers on their weapons. Okay, if y'all ever look at that.
Me and Hawk grabbed a grenade launcher for a main, but we stuck it in a bag because.
Okay, yeah, you could do that. I'll be putting the grenade pistol back in there. I thought it was in there.
I don't really use it. I mean, maybe I should practice with it. Maybe I should be using it. It's just not a weapon I like to use personally.
Say against insurrectionists, it's not really too big an issue. Maybe one person has a grenade launcher for suppression, but against the Covenant, and the fact that we're constantly...
All right, hold on. Let Somnus finish that, and then Tilly's got something to say. He's been trying to say, but y'all are going back and forth.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, with the Covenant, as you say, Jackals, or breaking the Elite's shields, or even just this suppressing hunters, grenade launchers are going to come in really handy.
So as you're learning in the army, in the infantry, we have a thing called train as you fight, which comes to that right there. He's noticing that the enemy a grenade launcher helps out. So what does that mean? Change up your weapon dynamic. Bring a different weapon system. Bring us another asset to the field to help you fight the enemy. That's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Train as you fight. Okay. Tilly, what was you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Is the M319, is that a multi-grenade or a single grenade launcher?
I think they made it a single grenade launcher.
I think all the grenade launchers are just single tubes.
I think, well, in the vanilla thing, they're compatible with
3 round
vanilla
mags.
ammo. Yeah, they have 3-round launchers.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. I thought, because I was thinking like rotary grenade launcher style, fucking laying down hate.
All right. Let's see right here. You control the movement of your team and its rate of distribution of fire. So we all understand that, right? You, as a team leader, you need to control your team's movement at how fast it's moving and the distribution of fire. Basically, meaning when you see the enemy calling in that fire. Like, say yesterday, I'm gonna be spades, right? We're engaging the enemy. I've got an LMG. It's probably Magic, right?
Yes, Magic was our saw gunner.
So in my instance, I'd be like, Magic, lay down suppressive fire at this. The thing is also being specific with your orders, knowing your people. All right. See, I already knew Magic had an LMG. He normally always carries an LMG. All right. So I already know by hand, hey, Magic's got an LMG. Now, yesterday, I think I saw multiple people with rocket launchers because they were like going down and picking it up and stuff like that. If a guy has a rocket launcher, know his name. All right. Yesterday, I know Sid had a rocket launcher, so I'd be like, Magic, lay down suppressive fire over here at these enemies. Sid, hit that tank with a rocket or hit that hunter with the rocket. Be specific when calling out these orders. Okay, we all understand that.
Yeah.
Don't just be like, hey, somebody use a fucking rocket launcher on this, because then you're gonna get everybody in the team who has a rocket launcher to start firing fucking rockets, and then you're gonna run out of rockets.
I mean, I don't know if you watched my stream yesterday, but I was calling for Kraken to put, keep his rocket up, or I was keeping an eye on the weapon he had. But once people started running out of ammo, weapons started changing, and it became an issue.
It does, and that's when you, as a team leader, you need to stop your team and have a little team meeting, or just, they don't have to come to you. Like, leave them online and just run over them and be like, all right, what do you got now? All right, good. Hey, what do you got? And the reason I say go to them is because I'm trying to get y'all off the fucking radio as much. All right, I know radio is love, it is life, because we have it, but actually going to the person and seeing what they have on them and then asking them, it's going to give you a better representation. It's going to put that mental imprint in the back of your mind. Like, if I say don't think about pink gorillas, what do you think of? Pink gorillas. All right. So when you go to a guy and you see he's got a fucking MA5 and he's got a rocket launcher in the back, you're gonna be like, oh, he's got a rocket launcher. He's probably got rockets. How many rockets you got? Okay, cool. And you go to the next guy, he's got an M7. So you're like, oh, he's got an M7 and some smoke grenades. He's probably got fucking hand grenades too, because he's got an M7. He doesn't have much weight. Get where I'm coming from? That's like how my mind pops.
For me, it's like, I know Rin was our AT, but I call for AT and not Rin. But if I were instead using his name, it would be more associated with AT.
Yeah. Okay. Also, big one right here. The big Magilla. All right. You ensure security of the team's area of operations. All right. Team's security. So let's look at this map again. All right. I'm gonna this, since there's less drawing on the south side, I'm gonna pick on Phantom a little bit. All right. So I'm gonna use white and yellow. All right. Let's say, actually, I'm gonna use blue. I'm gonna use bright blue to mark it out. Let's say you're moving to this area, right? So as the team leader, when you see what area you're moving to, you're making mental notes. You're going, okay, there's a hill right here slightly. There's slightly a hill here. There's a small little valley. There's vegetation right here. Okay, so that's a good area to move into and take up position. Okay, it also can keep us out of sight of the main objective. Also, while here, we can get eyes on this to see if there's any enemies in this area. All right, see where I'm going with it? You're already thinking up security plans. So when your team stops, I'm going to use yellow. Actually, I'm going to move. I can't move that. When your team stops, let's say your team stops right here. All right. How many guys did y'all have in the team? 6 or 7?
6.
6. So when you stop, and this is what I do. I don't know if y'all ever noticed this. When we stop, I'll tell you what position I'm pulling security on. Okay. So when you stop, you should have your team. You should do it by name. Be like, Ren, watch north. All right. Black, watch west. Okay. Magic. Actually, I would have Magic watching north because he's got an LMG. Magic, watch north. Billy, watch northeast. You get where I'm going with this now?
Yeah, I've done that well in the past. I didn't do it in the last couple of ops. I'll bring that back.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Should you, depending on say we know enemies north, should we strong side our north security with, having a smaller spacing between people? Obviously, space them out so they don't get grenaded, but have a smaller spacing so you have more people that are watching north, and then kind of spread out the people that are watching the other direction so that your strong side is north.
Again, it's going to be situational, okay? Because honestly, we don't know what's in that area. Okay, so in the military, in the infantry, we have a saying. As soon as Somnus is done, this fucking mic up. Thank you. Dude, when something hits your mic, dude, it's like a hard plastic sound. It's really loud. Just letting you know.
So I was yawning and I fell back. I didn't sleep very well last night.
I gotcha. Yeah, I only got like 6 hours of sleep. My kids are coming over in like less than an hour. So again, that's going to be situational. Now, strong pointing. Do y'all know what strong pointing actually means?
I guess it just means having your heavy weapons pointed towards that point.
When you strong point an area, that means friendly forces are going to move by you. Okay. So y'all probably thinking of the show Generation Kill when they strong pointed the town.
I never watched it, and strong pointing isn't something that's part of my
strong
vocabulary.
Pointing is when they all stopped online and everybody faced the village. Everybody faced the town. And then while they're doing that, the reason they're doing that is they're providing security for another force to actually move in. So the reason I would say no is because Malta's to the north. They're not moving by y'all. They're not moving around y'all to the objective area. They're actually coming to the objective from a whole nother area. So strong pointing right there is kind of useless.
So I suppose I was probably using that incorrectly.
I gotcha.
If I remember correctly, when we do your standard like wedge, you can have a strong side and you have more people on that side, or at least that's what it was called.
In the Marines, that is strong side.
Okay.
Strong side is having more people. In the Army, strong side is having the biggest weapon system. So in the Army, when we use the term wedge heavy right, that means the saw, which is the LMG, is on the right. Because the two people on the left, their two weapon systems equals that one saw. Does that make sense?
So it's a balance of more people on one side and heavier weapons on the other.
Yes. So in the Marines, when they say heavy right, they're going to have the saw gunner on the left, and they're going to have the other two people on the right because that means there's more people on that side.
Okay.
Okay. So that is what that. Where the fuck are my pants?
Right. Try and keep it. Well, maybe I'll try and teach that.
Yeah. So, and I'll be honest with you, we've mostly used Army lingo, mainly because it's 9 times out of 10 easier, because the way the Army does it is it's very simple. They use very simple terminology because they realize that there's dumb people.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes. There are dummies. Okay. But yes, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. All right. Okay. So when you come into a stop, again, team leader, you are responsible for making sure your section has security. Okay. That is your responsibility. All right. The next one, which is where Spades leans more towards assisting the squad leader and knowing knowing, where's it at? Yeah, being prepared to assume the duties of the squad leader or the team chief above them. Okay, everybody understand that? Okay, so there's actually a lot of stuff on you guys. Y'all don't realize it. There's a lot of stuff on y'all, but in the game we really don't cover everything. Okay. So, any questions so far? Because we've covered like a lot of stuff right now.
Not any particular questions though.
What's up?
No.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm just trying to make sure y'all are understanding, y'all are catching the grasp of this.
I just the questions I want to ask are never in my head when it's time.
Beefus, you got anything? You've been quiet.
No, I've just been listening.
Okay. I know this is kind of boring, guys. We're in game and we're using the map a lot. I'm sorry. That's just the best representation I can use to help train you guys. Yeah. I don't have like Scribble.io or something like that, or like a little Scribble thing to show you guys. All right. Here is some of the biggest things. Okay. Y'all do them very well, but the thing is sometimes they get misorganized because y'all concentrate more on the fighting. At least when I'm watching through Zeus, okay? Y'all concentrate more on the fighting than the commanding side. You got to remember, as a team leader, your primary job, you're like 80%, and I'm going to break it down by percentages. I'm going to say 75% commanding, 25% shooting. Okay, you've already done your shooting. You've already blown shit up. You've already used rocket launchers, grenade launchers. You've maimed the enemy. You've killed the enemy. You've raped, pillaged, and burned. Okay, now you're moving on to actually leading the people who do the raping, pillaging, and burning. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah. I can think of an example off the top of my head. You noticed that Black is continuing to sort of medic when he's sort of should have his gun up. And I didn't notice because I was too busy being the guy with his gun up, shooting at the enemies and not paying attention to what Black or where our security was. I should have been on the inside of that, getting people pointing outward.
Yeah. So here's another one, an easy one. And I learned this from my first sergeant. The higher you move up, the more you have to realize the bigger picture. Okay? Does everybody understand that? So the higher you move up, the more of the bigger picture you need to be thinking about. Okay? So in this instance, squad leaders, when we look at this, now I'm going to be teaching squad lead and team lead, because at some point in time, you guys are probably going to have to move up. Okay? But the majority of everything is the team leader. Okay? You are the B. All right? And Spades, you know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
You are the B. All right? Be the one on the front line. Be the one in the fight. Be the one kicking ass. All right? Your squad leader is the know. He's got the knowledge, the know-how, the tactics, the wherewithal. All right? And then you got the team chief and the team commander. All right? That's the do. All right? Be, no, do. All right? I know some of y'all are probably like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? That's the terminology in the military when it comes to team leaders, squad leaders, platoon leaders, and platoon sergeants. Be, no, do. All right? Right now, you are the B. All right?
I gotta be honest, even after looking over it a day, I don't exactly know. Like, I mean, if you didn't tell me, like how you relate it to the team, to the squad, to the platoon, I still would just see that as, you know, a motto of like,
I got you.
Be a leader, have knowledge, and you know, have the results of that knowledge and that, you know, personality.
See, there you go. He's got it. That's fucking spot on.
But yeah, like just the way you broke it down for me is, as a squad lead, have the knowledge to like kind of like help the leader, the doing, like Tilly for a team lead and such. But those two things are still don't seem related to me, except through the lens that you.
The thing is, That's the cool thing about the military. Like I know when we were talking the other day, and you were like, "Oh, I don't see why I can't be a sniper or a marksman and not be a team leader." Okay, it's the same thing. It's not gonna make sense. Trust me, not everything's gonna make sense. It's just how it is. Like like some of you guys, y'all do want to try to find it. Like, well, I just don't understand it. That's not how it is. It's like literally just do.
I think
All
that's
right.
where Black's headspace is right now. He doesn't
Yes.
understand that he's probably coming from like a D&D thing where turn economy is everything, and getting people off the ground and back fighting means better results, whereas you come from, you got to stop the people dying so that there's somebody left to fix them.
Yes. All right. So sorry.
Just his mindset.
So all right, now back on the team leaders. All right, a lot of this is going to be on the team leaders because as a squad leader, your job is to maneuver those teams. Okay, and then we'll get into that here in a second. All right, when maneuvering the team fights using one of three techniques. All right, one of three techniques. Individual movement techniques. All right, this is the lowest level of movement. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. Individual movement techniques. This is the lowest level of movement. Generally, it's the movement you're going to use the least amount of. All right. The next one is buddy team fire and movement. So now breaking your team into buddy teams to maneuver on the enemy. One laying down suppressive fire, the other moving to a gain fire superiority and neutralize them. All right. That's the second one. That's the one y'all use the majority of the time. All right. The third one, which is the one I used in the Army, is fire team movement and fire and movement. Okay. Um, that's your highest one. And these are kind of categorized in like fire team, maximum firepower, maximum chance of everybody surviving, buddy team, minimum. It's going to accomplish a mission, but you might take someone in the individual movement technique. You might have a lot of casualties if this is happening.
What would be the reason for using an individual movement technique?
Like AT, you're gonna neutralize a tank, but your guy has to move up to neutralize that. Maybe move away from y'all to get eyes on the tank. Okay, or if you're assaulting a compound and you're like, hey, fucking Private Schmegma, I need you to go pull security on that door, and he runs off and pulls security on that door. That's an individual movement. All right. Also, it could be like with Magic, he's got a machine gun all the time, and you guys are about to move across a field, and you're like, well, hey, Magic, pull security on this little hill and watch us cross, and then once we get across, break down and join us. All right. Those are examples of individual movement techniques. Okay. All right. Determining a suitable technique is based on effectiveness of the enemy's fire and available cover and concealment. All right. So what that means is this is all situational. Okay. It does not mean it's going to happen all the time. That's why it's up to you as the team leader to determine these techniques. Okay. It's also based off enemy fire on you. If you're in a firefight and you notice that only certain people are getting shot at or only certain people are taking rounds, you may want to be like, hey, Yarnold, since you're not taking fire, hey, Yarnold, go ahead and push right and see if you can't flank these guys and get the fire off of us. Okay. Or a buddy team one. You, Tilly, probably getting shot at. Cephas probably right next to you. You're probably behind a tree. The enemy's firing at you. But, we'll say Somnus and Spades, they're about 50 meters behind you, taking cover by a rock, but they're not getting shot at. You could be like, hey, move to the left or move to the right and get these assholes off of us. That would be my terminology.
That'd be good. Like yesterday when I think it was me and Hawk were up on top of a hill and we were like totally pinned down and couldn't fucking move. It would have been good to do if we had somebody send them around to try and basically.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Battle Drill 1 Alpha would be very good against Jackals specifically. Shields really require tactics to overcome.
Yeah. So, any questions on that spectrum? Okay. I just want you guys to hear this and understand it because I know you guys can do it. I know y'all want to do it. It's just like it seems like y'all don't know y'all's limitations or you don't know the spectrum of the team leader, like where his grasp is, what the duties and responsibilities of that is. All right. Also, in briefings, okay, when we give the briefings, we're from now on we're doing leadership briefings. So that means squad leaders and above go to the briefing. They get the briefing from me, and then they come back. They brief you guys, and then when they brief you guys, you should be making changes to your team if need be on weapon systems. All right. If you know you're going to an area that's possibly going to need a demo, a fuel plant, or a fuel fucking supply center, or we're going to neutralize some guys' APCs. You probably in your head you're going, okay, we're gonna need demo. So you should probably be like, all right, well, Somnus, you bring demo, see if you should get a rocket launcher. All right, something like that, or talk with the other team leader, and be like, hey, what are you bringing? All right, I'll bring this, this, and this. You bring that. All right, that should be happening right after the brief is given to you. All right, so assessing. That is your job as a team leader. Assessing. We all understand that?
Yes.
All right, so Somnus. Now we're fighting insurrectionists now. Okay, we're gonna swap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, Somnus. There is. I'm gonna mark this with white. Okay. There is an HVT in this fortified area. Okay. It is nighttime. There is roughly 1 squad of infantry and 3 light armed vehicles. Now only Somnus, nobody else. I've given you the troops composition. Okay, now there's troop composition is what enemies have. That is their composition. Disposition is how they're organized. We normally don't cover that. That's on you guys to get your eyes on. Okay, because I don't want to basically give you the answers to the test. All right, that's how I'm going to break that down. All right, so again, we have 1 squad of infantry with 3 light armed vehicles, and we need an HVT out of that fortified compound. We're going to call it Point Hawk. All right. Okay. So knowing just that, you should already assess what type of weapon systems or what type of assets you should bring. Okay, so only Somnus, after hearing that, what are your thoughts? You have 2 teams of 5. You're a normal MSOT. Okay. You have 14 guys, 2 5-man assault teams, and then your headquarters element. All right. You're a squad leader. Okay, and you just got told your squad's mission or your element's mission is that HVT.
Okay.
Yeah. So just hearing that, what type of weapons do you think you should bring, or what type of equipment or weapons you should bring?
Medic is standard. With these light vehicles, are they soft top or?
Oh, it's all you can know. That's all we know is that they're light armed vehicles.
Well, I would
So
make
there's
sure
probably
that at
some
least,
armor on them, and there's probably a machine gun on them.
I'd make sure 2 people at least have AT in both, 1 in each squad, at the very least. Make sure that there was ranged people, so have people with battle rifles or something so along that line, as well as having LMG in either group, and then also making sure that people had some sort of automatics, because I don't ever see a team with like entire battle rifles or things like that ever really functioning too well. Other than that, I wouldn't go overboard. I'd make sure that someone has demo. That would be my basic setup if I had a whole MSOT.
Okay. Are you going to be bringing stun grenades? Zip ties?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, you
so
should,
again,
if it's a HVT, I probably would. Yeah, if it was a.
Okay. Just remember, overall assessment. Okay. Also, while you're thinking of this, it's your job, because this is your squad's objective. It's your job to come up with some type of movement plan. Okay. Now, generally we'll give you where you're going to insert, and generally when I give you where you're going to insert, it's already going to be concealment or cover, or probably the best way to enter an area. Okay. The reason I do that is because I don't want someone to be like, oh, we're going to insert over here. I'm like, that's an open field and you're going uphill.
Yeah.
Instead of getting inserted over here in the woods and going up a hill, being even with the enemy and moving towards them. All right. So again, movement plan. All right. And what terminology do we use when we go with movement?
Okoka.
There we go, Spades. Okoka. All right. If y'all don't know what that is, does anybody not know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know
Put
what
it in my document.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on there.
It's
Fields of fire, cover and concealment, obstacles, key and decisive terrain, and avenues of approach.
There you go. From top to bottom, Okoka. Or Oka. If you're an MP. Alright, but Okoka. Alright. And then Somnus actually said each one of them.
Russian?
No,
Okay.
it's just the
No,
acronym that
it's
the
the
Army
acronym.
came up with. I have issues with the acronym they used, and Foe will.
It's to basically make it
that.
the simplest way anybody can remember it. So right here, when you're assessing, the biggest thing you're looking at when it comes to insertions, when it comes to knowing where to go, is this one right here.
Thought it
Key
was-
terrain.
There it is.
Terrain. All right, because what key terrain do we have around this objective, Somnus?
Well, I was before you had said to me to look at what weaponry I was going to be taking. I was already looking at how I'd approach it, and I'm assuming because these are all quite square, they have some sort of
Okay,
like
so
forerunner.
these heavy gray, those are rocks. These are boulders, some type of boulder.
What's this? Because these are
Those are
too
boulders.
square.
Those are boulders.
Fair enough. Well, assuming this is a boulder field, and
Mhm.
seeing the map, this seems
But also,
to be uphill.
Yeah, it's going uphill.
Yeah, so
Does everybody see how that's going uphill first before we?
Yeah, if you hover
Really?
your cursor above it,
Hold on,
you'll
hold on,
see.
hold on.
Yeah, that's. There's
Well, yeah, that's
approximately
actually
20 meters in between the forest and the.
also the contour lines where it's spreading out instead of this is
20 meters radiant.
And if you need to know whether it's going up or down, your cursor will tell you where the high is and where the low is.
Well, the cursors are also wrong too, because if you put your little cursor on the 311, it'll say it's 306, and it's not. So
I
the
figure
cursor's
it's
not
the
always correct.
high point of that thing, but yeah, okay.
Well, there's a little dot right next to the. Yeah, there's little hills right there.
Ooh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so you really got to zoom in. All right, so yeah, key terrain. Got hill. You got a hill. All right, we got woods right here. Okay, we got openings out here. So that's all key terrain. Okay, so that right there, as a squad leader, because we're primarily on squad leading now, as a squad leader, that is what you should be paying attention to. All right. The reason why is because if you look at that, you can place your squads or your squad, depending on which level of squad leading you're doing, or if you're doing platoon leading or platoon leading, that will determine if your guys get shot on a dismount, if your guys get hit on an insert. Okay, that's all going to come down to that. Okay. All right. Okay, good. All right. Let's see. Okay. Tilly.
Yeah.
You're conducting. You're a squad leader. Your squad is conducting an ambush on a convoy.
Okay.
Your ambush site. I'm gonna put it in white. Your ambush site is right here, in these rocks.
Okay.
Okay. So you know right now. All right. So we're gonna say it like this. All right. Hey, Tilly squad or squad Tilly. You guys are responsible for setting up an ambush on a convoy. Convoy consists of 3 vehicles, 1 APC, 1 troop transport, and the HVT is going to be riding in an armored Vic, no weapons. All right. Based on that alone, and that they're going to be traveling down this road from the north to going south.
Okay.
All right. Now, only Tilly. What in your head after hearing that? What type of weapons are you going to bring?
So there was a few things. Obviously AT for the APC, Grenadier for the troop transport, and I was actually thinking of how I'm going to stop the the HVT's vehicle from just fucking goosing it and fucking off before we can get it stopped and get him out. Obviously, you'd want some like stun grenades and shit for the dismounts on the HVT's vehicle because you want to be sure that you're shooting the right people because HVT will probably dismount if you stop it. Other than that, probably like an LMG just in case the Grenadier misses some guys with the with the troop transport vehicle. Because of the distance between our operating stuff and those rocks right there and the road, I'd probably want 2, 3 guys that I know have longer range stuff, commandos, and the rest would probably just be riflemen.
Okay. What because we're gonna talk about this later. But I'll mention it now. Control measures. All right. Now, what I mean by control measures is maybe bring some demo and plant on the road as a control measure in case a vehicle squirts or one of the vehicles tries to go around. What just me. A control measure was I'd probably put demo at the end of the ambush area.
That would help stop the HVT from squirting.
Yeah. Okay. So again, assessing. All right. Generally, when I hear the word ambush or ambushing a convoy, I always think of bringing some type of anti-personnel demo, claymores. And in this game, I'd probably bring a mine dispenser because they can take out vehicles. They can pop tires. That's a control measure. Control measures are what you can mentally put in place to control the aspects of your area. Now, what I mean by that is, you've got the area, you've got the mission, but in that mission there may be an enemy position that counters your movement. So what you do is you implement a control measure to bypass or destroy that position.
Okay.
Am I making sense on that, everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
I hadn't even thought about using a mine dispenser to pop the tires.
Yeah. See, there you go. Knowledge, man. See, what part is that? No. Squad leader, no. You got the knowledge. You got the know-how. All right.
What's that noise?
Well,
I
don't know.
can hear rain.
So,
it's actually raining. Okay.
Out of curiosity, though, with the demo charges, would you really need to be careful about accidentally blowing the vehicle sky high and killing the fucking HVT?
That's the part of the know. It's the part of the knowledge.
And usually we end up having an idea.
Yeah, you as the squad leader, you should know that demo, whether it's a C7 or a C12, you should know what kind of its limits are when it comes to blowing shit up. C7, if you're using just a simple C7, you know that if it's a direct hit on the vehicle, it's probably going to blow up a soft vehicle, a lightly armed vehicle.
Yeah.
All right. If it's a tank, it's probably going to take out a track. Okay. If it's a wall, you probably want to use a C12, or if it's a big vehicle, use the C12 on the big vehicle. Right.
I mean, it's something you've got to you've got to take into account as well as with armor. Whenever anyone pitches a convoy, you picture it like the cars are quite close to each other because of the way the AI don't function too well. You more often than not get a lot of spacing between each vehicle, so you have less worry about hitting another vehicle with splash damage.
All right. Next one, Cephas. All right, I'm marking your area now in red. All right, your area. All right, we're gonna say it's an enemy ammo dump and logistics center. Okay, your job is to move in and neutralize any weapons and ammunition you come across, while also conducting an SSE, which is a sensitive site exploitation, which means you're looking for intel. Okay, we're gonna call this Point Yankee because I like using Yankee. All right. So there's roughly 1.5 of men with multiple high mobility vehicles or vehicles with machine guns on top of them, and they move at a high rate of speed. So basically, like a warthog,
yeah,
or a bulldog, or just a pickup truck with a 50 cal in the back. Okay, that's your troops composition. Okay, enemy troops composition. All right. Based off that information alone, what type of weapons and equipment think you should bring? Only Cephas.
In that case, I'm probably going to want one group to be more of a holding force to suppress fire and attract fire for the other team to infiltrate at first. So that team that's pressing, probably an LMG, 1 to 2 grenadiers. I don't want anything too heavy because I don't want to detonate the ammo dump in my process, but I also don't want to be outgunned by the vehicles. Then the other team infiltrating would probably still have a grenadier for if they get caught out by the vehicles, but other than that, they would have more of standard riflemen loadout as they're the assaulting, get in, and start clearing shit up team.
Okay. And then why wouldn't you want to blow the ammo depot up first?
Because of the sensitive materials search, I don't want to detonate the ammo dump until I'm sure I've secured any potential intel.
All right, that's a big one because I know in some missions I'll use Zeus and I hover around you guys and I hear y'all's conversations and some people will be like, why don't we just airstrike it? Why don't we just drop a bomb on it? Why don't we just have 80s do this? You know, so there are reasons why, and that actually is in real life too. I mean, there was countless missions. We would go and do a cordon search around a Kalat, which a Kalat is a bunch of the little buildings kind of close to each other and everything like that in Afghanistan. And it's like, why can't we just drop a GBU on it? And then they're like, well, we need intel, see if there's cell phones, possible links to other cells in the area, so we can kill them and stop the attacks on us and innocents. And it's like, fuck, you're right. So there are reasons. All right, but the reason I wanted to go through this part right here, this little section of basically a TOOT, tactical exercise without troops. All right, a TWET or TEWT, sorry, TEWT. Is because right now what you're doing is you're doing the squad leaders assessment, but also you can still use that assessment as a team leader because what is going on? They're choosing weapons. Who's responsible for the weapon systems in their teams?
Squad lead?
You are. Team leaders are. Remember, we went over that. Team leaders are. It is your responsibility to know what weapons are in your teams and how they're being employed.
Yeah.
All right. So when the brief comes down to you as a team leader, you should already be assessing in your head, okay, well, we're going to need a rocket launcher, we're going to need a grenade launcher, we're going to need some demo. That way the squad leader doesn't have to do it because what did we cover in the responsibilities of the element leader, the team leader?
Managing the teams.
Yes, but also being prepared to assume the duties of the squad leader above him or the team chief above him. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Or basically, understand the mission 2 levels up. All right. Everybody understand? Anybody got questions about that? We're not going to talk about the scenarios, but any questions about that?
So Hawk goes down. Somnus and I are both up, assuming we're both in squad lead positions.
Generally, it'll go to. This is why we number everything in the Army. Technically, yeah, but in the infantry, it would be the 4th squad leader, which is normally the weapon squad. Normally, the weapons squad leader has the most experience. Because to employ a weapons team or a weapons squad, you have to have a great deal of knowledge on weapon emplacing and interlocking fields of fire and stuff. So generally in the infantry, 4th squad leader would take over, and then it would be 1st, 2nd, 3rd. All right, but in this instance, it would be Alpha, Bravo, so it'd be Malta then Phantom.
Well, right. and I'm kind of ignoring the existence of Cephas and Duck there. I assume Duck would be the first one it falls to.
Yes.
Does Cephas then step in after Duck, or is it Somnus at that point?
Okay, so we've talked about this at length, but no offense, Cephas.
None taken.
But it would go to Malta after that because Cephas is still a medic, okay? His job is still medicing people. He is in the command structure, but when it comes to leading on the battlefield, it would fall to Malta.
It makes sense. I'm just making sure that I'm not jumping the gun here.
Yeah, yes. The only situation I can recall where I took command was a situation where the lower team leaders were also Cat Alpha, and so it was just like I think I was the only one corporal or higher standing.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. And that's where that would go. So like, let's say, well, this isn't a likelihood. This has happened. Hawks down, Ducks down, Somnus and U Spades are down. At that time, it's on Cephas to pick up the radio and basically, hey, this is Cephas. All higher leadership is down. I'm in charge now. This is what needs to happen. Okay. And again, that might not ever happen again in the future, but it has happened before. So, but
It's
also
so
the reason
rarely, I wasn't aware.
Yeah. Also, the reason Cephas is here too is because he's also looking at possibly doing a team leader role outside of being a medic. You know, so that's also another reason why. But I believe everybody should at least get some leadership training when it comes to the unit. But also, you still need to know your station. Okay, and what I mean by that is if you were not the squad leader, do not act like one. Okay? If you're a squad leader, don't try to act like you're the team chief or the team commander. Okay? This also includes the radio. Okay? If you're a team leader, the only people that you should be on comms with is you and the squad leader. Okay? And then squad leaders, the only people you should be on comms with is your team leads and the platoon chief or platoon leader. Okay? In no instance should I hear orders going to the platoon chief or platoon leader and then a squad leader going, hey guys, we're about to move out, so let's do this and this, and we're going to be moving this way. No, that order has not come to you yet. Get off that radio channel. All right?
Okay, but
there is
sorry.
no buts about it.
I just want to say,
exactly
can
how it is.
Team leads not be so team leads should not have the radio between the squads. Like, say the squad lead goes down, the team lead shouldn't just be able to change that or be on squad net and, like, you know, report that up to the platoon lead. Because I thought that was the direction we were going from last night.
Only when that happens. Y'all should not be on the squad lead and platoon lead's net. Y'all shouldn't be on there, even if you just go, oh, I'm just listening. No, that's not your job. Okay? Your job is to lead your team, so that means your job is to receive orders from the squad leader.
Okay.
Okay? And many instances that has happened where some of you guys are listening to higher radio frequencies and the command comes through going, hey, we're going to need you to move over here and go over here and do this and this. Next thing I'm hearing is, hey guys, get ready, we're about to move. No, that's not your job. That is that team leader's job or the squad leader's job. Okay?
I mean, I got it, and I thought the main thing was just to, you know, shut up, but like last night, I was literally telling Tilly to pick up a 152 so that, you know, he can be able to switch or, you know, take control when I go down and let Malta and Jackal know what happened. And I thought that'd be a better way to do it than to have, like, what happened last night, which is, you know, I'm telling Tilly via chat to pick up my radio and report it up, and instead Yarnold picked it up.
The reason you don't do that, and this is going to be very easy, the reason you don't do that is you don't want to lose objectivity. All right, what that means is if you're a team leader and your objective is this, and this, and now you've got a whole nother radio channel for other people on it that are going to be talking on there, and you're hearing what's going on with them, that can cause you to supersede your own orders or stop you in the middle of making your decisions to concentrate on what they're doing or if they need help when they're not even asking for it. Does that make sense?
I understand. I guess I just have a little bit of trouble with
Can I ask a question?
Like, going to
Hold
where the squad lead died and trying to pick up his radio. As in my case, I was buried under plasma fire. It was a terrible place to go.
Well, I mean, if the guy's got a
reconnect.
152, he doesn't have to go pick up a radio. He can just
So he
switch
can have the
channels.
152. He just needs to be off the channels where people are talking.
Yes.
Okay, then that's what we'll do.
Yes, but also, team leaders, y'all need to adopt a 2 call out rule. Meaning, if I call your name twice and you don't answer, you need to assume they are down. Okay? We still do this in every operation. I hear it 9 times out of 10. Someone will sit there and make 5 or 6 call outs. Actually, it'd be more like 3 or 4. And then they're still like, well, I don't know if he's up or down. I've been calling to him. And it's like, well, he's fucking down. If he's up, he's going to say something. Especially the second time, because on the second time, you're probably aggravating the shit out of him.
Yeah, and the third time, you're saying he's dead.
Hold on. What's up, Tilly?
So I was gonna say, last night I had a bit of an issue with that, wherein I had just dropped in and I called out to literally anybody in Phantom and nobody responded, and then Ren walked up beside me. I was like, what the fuck? Why is nobody responding to me?
Was his radio on the right channel?
Everybody's radio was on the right channel.
If they died,
later on,
you were having trouble with your radio, as I recall. You told me
the only radio I was having trouble with was your radio, the 152 radio. I couldn't see, because, funnily enough, I actually did what Foe probably would have told me to do, which was I was on PhantomNet and was
not on
JackalNet. However, like, that was just like a random radio call out to literally anybody, and nobody responded. And I called probably 3 or 4 times, and I was just like, is all of Phantom down? Jesus Christ.
Were you trying to call Phantom through the 152 or the 888 Bofang?
I was trying to call them through anybody through the Bofang, because it said that they were in the area. And so I was like, I was going to go report to Hawk. I was about to be like, I think the entirety of Phantom has had a mass gas. And then suddenly Ren pulled up like next to me. I was like, what the fuck?
I might have been KO at that time, but yeah, as long as you were on Beifong Channel 3, someone should have responded to you.
Channel 3?
And then Ren, that's another thing, Ren still knew, so he probably didn't even realize when he died
the radio
that the radio resets. That's another thing we need to make known to everybody is if you go down and die, you need to reset your radio.
I mean, Malta doesn't, but
yeah,
let's just go straight to our channel.
Yeah.
But why do you guys go to channel 3, not channel 2?
Well, because if Malta were to have or have fire team nets, you would be 1 and 2, and we would be 3 and 4. We haven't had it in a while because we haven't had as many people, but that's how it used to be in the past.
That's also why the 152s have a Malta and a Phantom channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, team leaders. You should have a Bofang and a 152. All right. Squad leaders, you should only have 2 152s. Okay?
So, the 152 is... So this is where I've been going wrong. See, I knew that there was a Malta-net, but whenever I was on it, Hawk wouldn't talk on it. So I would always be in the Jackal one. No one ever seemed to use the Malta and Phantom net, and I never understood why. And this kind of makes sense,
The reason for that is no leader should be on more than 2 nets. Okay, and team leader, he needs the Bofang to talk to his team. He needs the 152 to talk to the squad leader. All right, the reason the squad leader doesn't have a Bofang is because he should not be listening to 10 people. He should only be listening to his team leaders. Okay, because that's his job, to maneuver the teams. It is the team leader's responsibility to communicate effectively and precisely to the squad leader on what's going on. All right, the squad leader paints the picture from what he hears from both of his team leaders to make the assessment on how to maneuver. Okay, that make sense?
Yeah.
And this is how it is in real life. Like, this is really how it is. Like, a squad leader in real life, like, you don't talk to that motherfucker. If you're not a team leader, you don't talk to your squad leader unless he talks to you. Like, I did a lot of push-ups. I'm gonna let you know this right now. I did a lot of push-ups because I would see him in the hallway and be like, "Hey, Sergeant Ramirez, who the fuck are you? I'm Private Ramsey. Do some fucking push-ups. Why are you talking to me?" And it's like, damn, you know, like,
Warning
yeah,
you too.
yeah. And I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that until then, because in real life, as a squad leader, you can't be emotionally attached to everybody in your squad. You can't. Your job is to care for them, to lead them. But the second that you start bringing in extra emotions, it can hinder your judgment on the field of battle. Okay. And I'm not saying do that here. Don't have any empathy or anything. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to give y'all what happens in real life. Like, you can still be friends. You can go bowling and shit like that, but there's a level. There's a level of it that, you know, you should stay away from.
We have in
Okay.
the past, done this where we were on Phantom Net inter squad, like to the team leads, and then to the Jackal Net between squads, and not having a Bofang and everything. But I think the reason we got away from that is because of low attendance.
Yes.
Going through a team lead to talk to only 3 other dudes.
So when each squad gets 2 teams, that's how it's gonna have to be. You're gonna have to have 2 Beifong channels for the whole squad, because you can't have both teams on one Bofang channel. You can't be in a firefight and say you're Alpha team of Phantom. You can't be in a firefight and then hearing Bravo team of Phantom throw out their comms too, because now you're trying to concentrate on your engagement, but you're hearing their engagement. And but the thing is, they're like 100 meters away from you. Like, that's no impact on you, but you're starting to let it impact your judgment, going, "Oh, well, I don't want to move my team over here because they're fighting a technical right now, which doesn't even see us. It's on the other side of this hill. So I think what I should do is just stay here." No, like, you can't do that. Okay, that just makes your tactical assessment longer. All right, as a team leader, your primary goal is to manage your team and the objective, your objective that you have to fight. Okay. Everybody got that?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions on anything we just covered?
Do we want to go ahead and be implementing that back, like, immediately? Do we want to be separating our squads into fire teams, each on their own Beifong, or do we want to leave them all in one Beifong for now?
I mean, Mothra was already planning on, separating the team leads into we're having their like battle systems at the start of each op now.
Okay.
Just changing up the radios is gonna make it easier.
Yes, there we go. So what Somna said.
Okay, so yes, yeah.
Yes. All right. I really wish Hawk was in here so he could be hearing some of this. All right. But we'll talk about the team chief a little bit. All right, because even Duck is kind of lost on what he's supposed to be doing as a team chief. Now, in SOFs, team chiefs, they are important. They are a part of the rank structure. But when fighting happens, they are either a form of leadership, meaning that they are a control measure in the leadership system, or they're on just another rifle. Okay, and what I mean by that is, let's say in this instance, Cephas isn't here, and it's just Duck and Hawk. And then Hawk goes, "Well, I'm gonna tag along with Malta," and Duck goes, "Well, I'm gonna tag along with Phantom." At that instance, they are still leadership, but they are embedded with your squads, which means they are just a rifleman. Okay. What's up?
Y'all would excuse me. I have to go do something really quick. I have to go use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Nature course.
All right. So in this instance, when they become a rifle, they are under you pretty much. Now, that doesn't mean you're just gonna be like, "Hey, go over here and do this, this, and this, and that." No. What that means is they do not take your teams. They do not take your squads. They do not take people from your squads. If they are going to take people, they need to ask you. That is your squad. That is your team. Okay. If you're a team leader, that's your team. If you're a squad leader, that's your fucking squad. Okay. That is your job. All right. If they come over and go, oh, hey, I'm going to take so and so and go over here, you're going to be like, no, you're going to ask me if you can take him.
Okay. Yeah, I
All right.
think there was a bit of confusion with that. I've been kind of letting them just take people and to boss me. I mean, they tell me what to do, and I just kind of figure, well, they're platoon lead, so yeah, that's what we're doing then.
Now, if it's Hawk, yes. If it
Usually
is
whenever
Duck,
Hawk comes over, I just treat him like that anyway.
yeah, if it is Duck, yes, he's the team chief, but he's in your squad. So therefore, because okay, so here's the big thing about the platoon daddy
situation.
Yeah, here's the thing with the team chief / platoon sergeant. In combat, 9 times out of 10, any briefing is between the platoon leader and the squad leads. The platoon sergeant / team chief, he is there, but he's there to make sure you have beans and bullets. Okay, meaning he's making sure you have the ammo you need, you have the equipment you need. He makes sure he can get that for you. His primary job in an actual conventional method is setting up CCPs and helping the platoon leader with reports. He is responsible for getting on the comms with the team leaders, getting the reports from the team leaders, and then giving them to the platoon leader so that platoon leader can A, call in air support, B, let higher know what's going on in the mission. So, does everybody understand that?
I believe so.
All right. So when they embed with you, that is your squad. If you're a squad leader, that is your fucking squad. Okay. The second they take someone without you saying yes, that's the second you are left without a weapon system or an asset or a piece of equipment you can use to kill the enemy.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind and maybe address it at some point.
Yeah, right here it says right here, ensures this is the team chief / platoon sergeant, ensures the teams are prepared to accomplish its missions, which includes supervising pre-combat checks and inspections, updates team leaders on appropriate reports, and forwards those reports that are needed to higher headquarters. All right, prepares to assume the role and responsibility of team leader, or when I mean team leader in this, I mean team commander. Sorry, platoon leader. All right. Monitors the morale, discipline, and health of the teams.
Absconding with the saw has been a regular habit, I think, in the past. Just, hey, that's your squad gunner. He's coming with me now.
No, you go, no, I need him here.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how that needs to be. Because we've had an issue like that. You know, we've had issues with that before where like you said, they come over and go, oh, he's going to come with me. It's like, no, you're going to ask me first. I can't spare him. We're assaulting this objective. You know, that's kind of how that needs to be. This is why I wish Hawk and Duck were in here right now to listen to that. All right. But again, those are sometimes rare instances because Cephas is 9 times out of 10 always here. And so is Hawk, and Duck is generally here until recently. All right. Any questions on that? I feel like we're really, really getting a lot accomplished right now. I don't know about you guys, but
I feel like I am taking a lot. There are some things you've said that I do take into account. Some things, like I'm not saying I'm not listening to any of this. I mean, like there are some things I already do take into account. There are things I know that I need to get better at. Like Siva said earlier, I am listening. I'm just taking it in.
Gotcha. Now another thing with team leading, I really need Tilly to be back here for this one, but we'll go back over it. Another thing with team leading or squad leading, you are the team leader. If you are the squad leader, again, need to have that authority. Okay, if people are not listening to you, you need to address it. You need to be like, hey, you guys need to fucking come here right now. All right, hey, you need to stop. Like, you need to let them know, hey, I'm the team leader. You're going to do what I say. If you don't want to do what I say, we can kick you out of the server. Okay, this unit is about teamwork. I don't give a crap about lone wolves. I don't care if people go, oh, I had an idea and I wanted to. Cool, share it with the team. Let the team leader make the assessment. Okay, I do understand that in the heat of battle, certain things happen, and the people were just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go do it to help out." Cool, I understand that, but when it's happening even after the fight and y'all are moving out and they're doing doing their thing, that's when I get an issue. That's when team leaders, y'all need to be aware of where your team's at and bring them back. But
I
go ahead,
assume it
Thomas.
was Marku yesterday that you were having issues with, like running away because he was doing his own thing.
He was doing it, and so was Rose.
Rose was doing fine, but yeah, I did see that Rose, pretty much nearly died by themselves because they'd wandered off at one point.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Hawk, they probably would have died.
Well, I told Hawk where to go. I was like, Hawk, go to the right. Rose is right there at the end of the building. Now I know what Rose was doing, but he wasn't communicating. It didn't seem like he was communicating what he was doing, so that's why it was perceived that he was lone wolfing.
He was behind. We were on the other side of the wall, and I knew he was around me. So while I was, helping sort out the medical and trying to figure out what was going to happen, because at this time we were kind of talking with Phantom, and then we ended up trying to figure out what was going on. And I did what you were saying earlier. I called over the radio 3 times, and I said if they don't respond on the third one, we're assuming they're down.
Yeah.
Got nothing back, and then it was at this point that someone, Hawk said, "Are you missing anyone?" And I looked around and I just thought, hang on a minute, like there were people here around me a minute ago, like where have they gone? And then someone, I think, was cracking on the wall, and Rose was down the other end of the thing, and I was just like, well, what happened? I turned away for like 4 minutes.
Well, just in those instances
all the time.
That's why you have to maintain. You have to keep looking. Like I know that little HUD is pretty cool. It lets you have that situational awareness of where your guys are, but that's why you just constantly need to be checking. All right. Okay. Say like this, like yesterday, Spades. He was ahead of everybody, and he did say, "Hey, let's go." The only thing I'm going to recommend is when you do that, be like, "Hey, team, we're moving west. All right, we're moving up to the top of that hill. Let's go." Wait 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, don't just start running and then say, "Hey, let's go." Be stationary. Say, "All right, let's go." And then you need to watch your team get up and start going, and then you go.
The way I'm going to attempt to resolve that thing that I've constantly been doing is to have a team lead select a point man from my team leads and have them navigate us out and try and just be vigilant that they're going the way I want them to go.
Well, if we're going to be changing up the radio system, when we say, we're going to be moving out, it's up to the team lead at that point over the radio to make sure that everyone's following. Of course, it comes into the foe's 7 rules for leading, with the giving clear orders. Because I used to, and I still do in a way. I'll say, "All right, we need to move out," and I never really say where. So. It usually comes back to me like after I said it, and I'm like, oh yeah, northwest, north, towards the forest over in yonder, where,
Gotcha. So. Before we get too far away from it, and while we have time, Fo, I wanted to discuss Marco. I know it from my perspective, it seemed like you jumped on him pretty quick. Maybe I was kind of negligent. You feel like he was lone wolfing a whole bunch there? I just kind of thought he was a little bit far.
No, so the first time I noticed it, y'all were like in those tree lines, and that other Covenant outpost started shooting at you guys. Y'all had thrown yellow smoke. Someone threw yellow smoke, and Marco stopped moving. Like y'all kept going, and y'all were still engaging him. And he stopped. He was like 50 meters behind you guys, and then he started y'all. Then I noticed that y'all were inside of the other tower, so I took over one of the jackals and I started shooting at him, and like. Dude, I shot him like 3 or 4 times before I guess he even radioed y'all and let y'all know there was a sniper tower shooting at y'all. I don't know, but I shot him a couple times. And the only reason he lived was because I think Yarnold, or you, actually it was you shot the first jackal sniper. Because I heard after I died, I heard it over the radio. Hey, I shot the jackal. But like, dude, he was like 50 meters away from y'all.
I saw that jackal. There was 2 up there, wasn't there? Because I shot
there was
one.
2 on everyone. Yeah,
there was a lot of them. I was counter sniping a lot.
I saw one of the towers, and I shot one of the jackals, and someone else from Phantom. And this was like they were we were far away from each other. Shot the other one. So it was there was a bit of confusion in my team because people assumed the other jackal was still up there. But it was just like no, someone killed it.
Yeah. So, but yeah. No, that's what happened. That instance when I finally radioed Hawk, and I was like, "Hey, man, you need to let Marco know he needs to fucking stop going off on his own," because he didn't just like stop to return fire. He stopped and stayed there. And I was like, "Okay, what the fuck is he doing?" And then after y'all killed the jackals, he
So-
kind of stayed there, and y'all went to move off, and then
The way
he
you
just like
described
slowly
that,
rejoined it.
it almost seemed like he might have like gone like AFK or something. But you're saying he stopped and he just kept engaging, but kept on not really
Yeah.
moving essentially.
So in Zeus, y'all moved into that tree line. He was with you guys, and then y'all started moving up. And I think at some time someone threw yellow smoke. And when that instance came, I took over the jackal sniper, and that's when I like noticed that he was way far from you guys. But he wasn't like moving up behind y'all. It's like he was kind of like moving off in a different direction, like I guess trying to flank the enemy or something like that. I don't know, but he just wasn't with you guys.
In that moment, that was, I think what we're describing is the moment after Yarnold kind of didn't go the direction I meant for him to go, and I was trying to call the team back to the tree line because he'd basically exposed. I believe we were in this area, and basically Yarnold had found himself here with outposts that had visibility on him when we were supposed to be going down here through the trees. And I'd called like, everyone pop smoke and get back to the line, and I was trying to like course correct him, a little too late.
But here, I'll TP us over to the area I'm talking about because everything's still over there.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
This'll
Right
be
there.
handy. Oh, and yeah, we got to get together on at least that other AAR thing I was talking about, because at least if we have map level AAR like that Athena level stuff, that's probably got to be that's got to be helpful.
Oh, here we go. All right, is everybody here?
Yep.
Gather round. So right here, y'all got a C tab?
C tab. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay. So you see where we are, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, if you look directly over there to the 150, that's the tower I'm talking about. Y'all were like right here with the yellow smoke.
Mm-hmm.
He was way over there. He was way over there. Actually, yeah, he was kind of over by that fucking rock over there.
When the call from Marco came, I think I found him like he wasn't. Yeah. He must have like course corrected while y'all were talking. Is maybe why I was like a little curious about it.
Yeah, so like that yellow smoke was like kind of up there where that rock is, right? Where that rock is over there.
Sorry, looking at the ground.
Yeah, it was like right there. But he was way back there.
Yeah. So this is after they had made it back to the trees with me.
Yeah, and then so I took over that jackal sniper that would have been in that tower over there, and started shooting at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all actually moved this way. Yeah, y'all actually moved a little bit over that way, and that's when you shot the first jackal sniper. And then I took over the second jackal sniper, and I hit him like 2 more times. And then after y'all neutralized that jackal sniper, he like ended up joining you guys. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, why is he all the way over there by himself? Like, everybody else is way up there. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. But again, in Zeus, I can just see from top down what's going on. I can't hear your radio comms, right?
Yeah, he didn't like deny it at all.
We're over here, past the tree.
He just kind of said that he kind of didn't realize how far away he'd gotten. It seems like it was a bit of an honest mistake. He's not trying to be a lone wolf. He's just new.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's why I was just trying to make it known to everybody. Like, if you're lone wolfing, like, that's bad. Like, we're all about teamwork here. That's what I care about. Yeah. That's why me and Blatchy always kind of bumped heads, because he's a glory hog. That's how I see it. He's a glory hog. He's like, oh, I did this, and this. And I'm like, that's cool, but the rest of your team was fucking dead. Like, I care more about the team than I care about individual. But that's just me. That's how I was taught. That's how I was trained. Yeah. But
I mean, you're not much of a leader if your team's dead, is it?
Yeah,
what are
true.
you exactly leading at that point?
Yeah, what are you leading? No,
like,
Hangman.
But yeah, Tilly, what I covered when you left before we came out here was, again, when you are a team leader or you are a squad leader, you have to have that authoritative voice. Okay? So if you're out there and you're telling people, hey, come over here, do this, come over here, do that, and they don't want to do that, you need to tell them, hey, I'm in charge. This is what we're going to do. And if they don't want to listen to it, you let me or Hawk know, and we'll kick them out of the server. But you need to let them know. Be like, hey, if you don't want to listen, then you just need to leave the server. Okay, because at some point in time, they're going to be in charge.
Hmm.
And I've done this to Kahuna, where multiple times, where like I'm in charge and he doesn't want to listen, and then whenever he's in charge, I intentionally don't listen to him, and he's like, "Why don't you listen to me?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm just doing the same thing you do to me." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, "Well, now you see." And he's like, "Yeah," and then he stopped doing it.
Okay.
So, but I'm a bully. That's why I do that, and I get in trouble at work for that too.
It works.
But yeah, it works. It teaches that person, you know. But yeah, like when you're in leader, when you are team lead, you are a leader. Okay. Also, when you're the team leader, I think you were here for this. We're all as a leader, you're always looking at the big picture.
Yeah, I was here.
Okay. Yeah. So remember, when you're a team leader, you're a squad leader, your primary goal is the team or teams. If you're a squad leader, it's the teams. Okay. What else was I gonna say? Fuck. Damn it, I lost my train of thought. And what they're doing, yeah, the teams and what they're doing. So your job should probably not be as shooty as much.
Mhm.
Your job should be observing. Your job should be more of, okay, I've got 2 guys to the left, I got 3 guys on the right. They're firing. Okay, I can fire now. Okay. If you're moving out and you come under contact, of course, if you're in the lead, your job is to shoot first, and then once you start hearing more weapon systems get online to fire, take a second, stop, look around, go, okay, where are my guys at? All right, I got my LMG on the left, I got my grenadier on the right, I got a rocket launcher on the right. Okay, these are where my weapon systems are.
Got it.
Okay, and that's for everybody. Okay, because if we're online and you don't know who's by you, you don't know how to effectively, at least to me, you don't know how to effectively engage the enemy, which can mean casualties. All right. And also, you guys have to understand you're going to get casualties. Okay. If you notice that you're getting wounded a lot, you should probably step back more. Probably. And this is how Arma AI is. Right now, Somnus is in the squad lead position. So his rank.
Shoot me first.
If you look at Tilly, he's in a team leader slot. So is Spades. Y'all have a corporal rank. AI know this. So AI are generally going to target the person who's higher if you're in a field.
Okay.
Okay, so the way it works with AI is it's numbers, right? It's calculations. Okay, so if we're in an open field, AI is going to be like, who's the highest ranking person? Let me shoot them in the fucking chest because that's what they normally aim at is the chest. Okay, and then they're going to go off of who's out in the open the most. Okay, so if the squad leader's behind a tree and an infantry guy's out in the field, they're generally going to shoot the infantry guy. But if you are out in the field and a basic rifleman's out in the field, they're going to target the higher rank guy.
Okay.
Okay, that's generally how it's going to work in Arma. If it's daytime, nighttime, they're fucking stupid.
Okay.
Alrighty. Any questions so
far?
You say they're stupid at night. What does that mean for them? Does that change their
basically
tactics?
Yeah, it does. It'll change who they shoot at, when they shoot. It's because the way the way they're scripted, it's off of calculations. Like as soon as the AI detects a player, it's automatically throwing calculations up by decimal numbers on how they're going to engage, when they're going to engage, where at they're going to engage on the person. Are they going to hit the leg? Are they going to hit the chest? That's why if you notice when Arma AI is out there, they have their weapon up and they'll stop moving and run back like 5 seconds, and then they turn around and run back. Y'all ever seen that?
I think so, yeah.
Or they'll run, stop, and then rotate towards you. That's the calculations. That's it going. Where's the enemy? How far away at? Where am I going to aim? Where am I going to shoot? What position am I going to be in?
I've just put in the chat for the main server on TeamSpeak. I clipped, well not clipped, the kind of the precise minute that like it, the AI pretty much. There we go. Jack was the leader, and it's as you start it, you will see that they're not even focused on where I am. But the minute I popped my head out, they just start shooting me.
Yeah, it's like calculations, like body part calculation. Like if I was to like attach a sandbag to you, like around your midsection or your chest, they would just see that as an empty object until they saw your side or your back.
Weird.
Like that's how it is. Like trust me, I did this in editor one time. I put sandbags on the sides of Humvees, just on the sides of
That's
the Humvees,
hilarious.
like right where the wheels are that covered up the windows. They never fucking shot at us until they were either directly in front of us or directly behind us, because it's just showing an empty object. It's showing the sandbags to them.
You're
pretty much.
concealed because of the sandbags.
Mhm.
That's excellent.
even though you're in a fucking big ass vehicle. Yeah.
We need a lot of plywood and duct tape.
But also with Acre, they can hear you, and that also makes them move and stuff. It throws them another calculation.
So
Credo is,
I wonder if
make sure people
Acre,
look quiet.
if they can identify like leadership through Acre.
No, they just hear you guys. I'll see it. Like you'll be
Yeah.
in a building and you'll be outside the building. You'll be like, all right, we're gonna move up. They'll immediately turn to face who said it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
hard
when
to
they hear
detect it.
they'll hear other people talking. They'll move their heads. They'll be like, all right, but the weapon will stay on the primary person. And then you open the door and they'll be looking at the rear of the building because the guy's still there. Its calculation is, hey, there's a guy here, but it doesn't want to detect anybody else.
Man, your
Yeah, back when
story about the sandbags reminds me of the recent AI that the military fooled by getting in cardboard boxes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, where they start doing cartwheels and things.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite, my favorite time I've ever seen Acre kind of work the way it's supposed to is when I did my division op. We started using Acre around that time, and the team was working their way up this hill to get to fight this facility or search. I can't really remember what it was. But Magic, he was just loudly talking with, he must have been on like full volume or something, because the entire facility, everyone just pinpointed on him, sniper included. He pops his head up. He was dead. Straight up.
If we were really like assholes, we could definitely use that to our advantage.
You can, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to make it to where I do it on
I
the
don't even
settings
think you'd
where I
call us
disable
being
that
an asshole. Like, I mean, if
mechanic of the game.
we can,
I mean, if you
draw fire, we can arm you to
Yeah.
that stuff. That's valid tactic.
Well, no,
If someone shouted
draw the
you
sight.
two,
Yeah, exactly.
If we have like, I'll just be like, hey, Magic, go to
Quack
the side of
bang
the
out.
building and scream.
Quack bang out. But any other questions real quick? I'm just trying to wrap this up.
Not particularly.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Would you like me to take the medic role and just observe Spades for now until we can find somebody that's not black to be a medic?
It's up to you. I actually forgot to give everybody medic permission.
Bingus is technically
Numbers.
our medic.
Who?
He just Bingus or does
Blame.
he goes by Blame here. Never mind.
Yeah, where is he? He's been gone for like over a month.
He said
Apparently
his
he
files
was-
been corrupted, but
Which
I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna try and like read out, and it's like, why are you doing this now instead of 3 hours earlier today?
yeah, I'm
I don't
annoyed
know.
because you guys took Nomad from my team, and then he just went. Was it Nomad? Who was it that joined
wasn't Nomad.
Phantom? It was someone.
Was it?
I had
No,
someone who wanted
Nomad
to be
wasn't there.
medic. I had someone who wanted to be medic. We had a medic. in my-
Blame
we had a
left
medic.
your squad and came to us, is what I believe
Oh, yeah,
happened.
so it was Blame. So yeah, you
Yeah,
took.
he
Blame,
wasn't here
and
though.
then
Yeah.
My medic left.
He
So-
really hasn't been around, and he also is asking to be medic trained. So he's not even medic trained, but he's in our medic slot. He's got the BCT medical training and whatever he's learned along the way. He's not.
Well, as soon as he can
Totally
show
qualified.
up. Yeah, because I heard him. Y'all were doing D&D the other day, or last week or so, and he was there with y'all.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was at D&D yesterday.
That was my.
That's when we confronted him. We
problem.
were like, "Hey, man, what the fuck have you been doing?"
Yeah.
Oh, my files are bad, and like if you had started the validation at the beginning of D&D, you'd be ready to go, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you'd think he would do it now and get ready for next year.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens next week. If it's the
I'd
Says-
same
prompt him.
excuse.
I'd prompt him to sort it out throughout the week. See if
The
we
last-
can get him to come.
Yeah, the last
All
3
right.
weeks he's been at D&D, and then has just magically disappeared in the hour between D&D and op, and
Yeah.
without putting in an LOA.
But I was just
We-
thinking I could help with the whole medic thing because that would give me time to like slow down, look at like what the fuck's going on, think
Well,
about it tactically, give me a little bit of like give a little bit of like distance between the B and the no, so that
Yeah.
I'm not constantly in B mode. I can kind of switch to no mode, so I can get a little bit more like practice thinking things through. Like as we had earlier, like I had thought about the fact that the target could squirt, but I couldn't, like off the top of my head, think of a way to stop it from happening.
Yeah.
Well, Tilly, I'm afraid that the medic spot isn't really the place for that to happen. The team lead spot is where you need to take that space. If you're doing medical, you're gonna be distracted.
Hold on, let me teleport us over here real quick. Okay.
I mean,
Everybody there?
there's a reason the
Everybody there?
medic isn't the.
Okay.
This
Give
is
me a sec.
miles away.
This is like a kilometer.
No, this is like yesterday. I remember seeing this, but I never got close to it.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is where Phantom was. So like, let's say right here, right? Let's say like right here, you've got the objective area. You're seeing it, right? You're going, all right, we're gonna move up. We're gonna do a buddy team movements up. You'd be like Magic, I don't know, Magic,
Red
Black,
team.
Ren, yeah, or Red team. I don't know how y'all have the teams. So be like, hey, move
Sure.
up to that next rock, you know, right up there, right? They start moving. Okay, you've got your cover on them, and they start taking fire. You can't go, oh shit, and then look at your map. You can't do that. Like you have to look around and be like, all right, well they're getting shot at from the right. We should probably move over these rocks, so we can actually get an angle on those shooters, so we can shoot and keep the fire off that team, right? That's how it should be. But I do see you, Tilly, sometimes when situations arise, you'll stop and go, hold on, and you'll like your character's just got his weapon up, or you'll go into your map, and I'm like, dude, you're in the wrong fucking spot to do that. Like, get to cover. But on the field like this, when you're engaged, you shouldn't be looking at your map. You should be using your eyes on the screen to be like, what do I have around me? What can I do? My first thought is, I'm going to throw some fucking smoke out there, and then I'm going to wait 10 seconds, and then I'm going to move to a new position. And then if I can see the enemy from that position, start laying down suppressive fire. All right, these are just scenarios. These are just, what ifs. I'm not saying this is actually what happened yesterday, because it's not.
Yeah, no, we weren't even. Yeah.
Y'all like bypass this. Y'all like, actually.
We came from the south as Phantom. We
Yeah,
came
y'all
up
were, like,
against
way
the
over
wall
here,
of the
yeah.
compound.
I intentionally put these rocks here. These aren't on the map. I intentionally put these rocks here so y'all could bound through them to get closer to the objective area. But y'all actually like ran around them.
That explains why they're
like,
not on the map.
And went way the fuck over there. So we're like right here right now.
I mean, yeah, we've got to consider, like in real life, you're not, when you look at a map, you're not going to see every individual rock, so.
No, I know.
Remember,
I know.
maps are normally 3 to 5 years old.
Hey, but that is the rock that is on the map, maybe, or no? I guess not.
Yeah, it's right here. It's right here. If you look on the map.
Yeah. No. Oh, okay. It's not.
These smaller rocks aren't on the map.
I wonder what
Actually,
makes
this
a
one's
map
on the
get this kind of mark on it. I wonder what determines that.
I don't know.
But yeah, no.
If that's not a mountain, why the fuck is going on with this? It makes no sense.
A way that I could definitely take a step back and think, because I feel like I do get caught up in the B instead of the no, and it's difficult to break from one to the other.
Well,
I mean, you've still
Tilly,
got time to learn. You've not long been a team lead, have you?
and we did recently discuss you having turns at being squad lead. You can take squad lead, and I mean, if you ever need a hint, just ask me what I think, and I'd share it with you.
I don't
I'm not
see the
best
point of
example.
teaching him squad lead until he's not comfortable being a team lead. Otherwise, it's just going to get confusing, jumping between squad and team lead. You're squad leader, and he's team leader. It shouldn't be a case of, well, you can be squad leader at the minute. You guys need to have a system so that you're, when you log in, you're comfortable. Instead of when me and Hans had that system of, okay, I'll come in and do this, or he'll do this. It was so unsure of who was going to listen to who. It became kind of like difficult to function.
I mean,
until I was certain I'm the squad lead.
Yeah, it was the same between you and I, and that's why I brought it up. Is like I didn't think we were hot seating anymore, but it was supposed to be a discussion between me and Tilly that we just didn't have.
As an outside voice, I would say don't do the whole switching. Just kind of pick you being lead as senior, and have Tilly be, learning as team lead. Because if you
agree.
you switch between it, you're just gonna have issues.
All right.
But
So
Tilly's idea to be medic to help him be team lead, I don't see that being good.
You guys have enough people to choose to have a medic. You have to get someone to do it.
okay, so talking about this, right? Like we talked about loadouts last night in the AAR. There is an assaulter class, all right, and the general role of the assaulter is they have a rifle, they have ammunition, they might have a little bit of demo, like 1 or 2 C7s, and they've got smoke grenades. Their primary objective as an assaulter is to what? It's to rush in an enemy position, neutralize the enemy, right? I was gonna recommend it to Hawk last night since you guys are fighting Covenant. We kind of go to have that role out there. So generally, these guys are going to be carrying like an MA5 or an M7. All right. They're the reason why is they're going to have the least amount of weight on them because their job is to have stamina. It's to get across that field. It is to assault the enemy position so that way the other elements can move. Okay.
Problem is that the AI is so laser focused. Yeah, they see someone, especially the Covenant.
Yeah. So, all right. Any other questions?
No.
Well, I just wanted to know what you thought of the Tilly being a medic and his idea of how it would help him get the no. I wondered if you maybe had an alternate recommendation or if you thought that was fine.
This is just me when it comes to team leaders. Me personally, team leaders should just stay team leaders. If you take the medic role and you're a team leader, you've got to try to keep the focus of being a team leader, not a medic. You need to focus on moving your men and positioning them, not, hey, I need to move them. Oh, are they healed? Because once you start doing medical stuff, you're taking time away from you doing your assessment and managing your team. Okay. This is also why, like in some special forces, like foreign special forces, like Singapore, they actually have role-specific slots. Like they have the team leader who's an officer, which they do most of their training away from each other. They go to their own individual schools and learn, like the officer goes and learns leadership. The demo guy goes and learns to be a sapper. The marksman goes off to marksman school. And then once they're done with all their training, they come back together and that's it. They don't do any cross training whatsoever like American Special Forces does or British. They do no cross training. So like when it comes to demo, they've got to have that demo guy. And the reason they keep that is because they believe that it still keeps the leadership or those roles because they're like, hey, we have to have that in the team. That has to be there. They can't just swap out stuff. We have to have marksman. We have to have a boat guy. They keep that specific. So that way it doesn't take from the role of another person. So like if say Spades is a marksman, that's all he's focused on is being a marksman. He's not focused on being a leader at the same time. It's not like if the leader goes down, the marksman's like, well, I'm the leader now. Or it's the boat guy, the demo guy, like, oh, I'm a leader now, fuck. Their reason behind it is to keep one role specific, so that's kind of what I'm getting at here is, yes, we're cross-trained on every weapon. We can all do medical. But, like, if you're the leader, I want your main focus to be on leading.
Okay.
But, again, it's your team, The only issue I see with it sometimes is maybe, like, you're wanting to move your team out, but then say Spades has a boo-boo and he's like, can you stitch me up real quick? Oh yeah. So now instead of moving your team, you're spending an extra 15 seconds to 20 seconds patching him up. And in that time, like last night, that was happening and all those fucking elites with the plasma swords fucking killed him. So,
yeah, so basically I would be in a position where I would die and that would be bad because even like I wouldn't even be able to give fucking orders over radio. And obviously when they step out, I'm not with them, I can't know what's going on.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
But yeah, if you need to take a little bit of a step back to like focus on the knowledge, you still need to do it from the team lead slot is my thing. I think. Anyways.
Because I was just, when you're like for me, especially being fucking ADHD, like I concentrate on one thing at a time, and it's difficult when you have to like switch over to try and like Like switch from B to no, so that you can. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Alrighty. Any other questions? All right. There's no other questions. I hope this has been helpful. I do apologize for not doing these sooner. I actually got some time off this weekend. And, my kids aren't here yet. I'm still waiting for them. I keep looking out the window. But that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you all have a good Sunday. Unfortunately, there won't be an op in an hour because I will have my kids. But yeah, hopefully next Saturday when we have our operation, you guys will have the information, and you'll have a better grasp on the mission itself and the situational awareness. All right. What was that?
Has the perimeter secure.
Oh yeah.
Good job on security, Cephas.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm just
PvP.
waiting so I can shoot without interrupting anything.
Oh, you're good.
All right, later, y'all.
The first time you ever carried that?
Oh, I know some people were complaining about like the sight changes, and I wasn't really getting why, because you can do a manual zoom,
Yeah.
and like zoom out.